The Gemara asked in Maseches Megillah Daf Yud Beis, why is it that Klal Yisrael in that generation had a terrible decree against them? And the Gemara answers, because they enjoyed the festive meal of Achashverosh. It doesn't say that they ate in the meal because they enjoyed it. That's what the Gemara says. Explain to Shalom Shvadron Zatzal. Mashal lema hadavar doime. A rabbi of a small town once came to the Chafetz Chaim. Chafetz Chaim asked him, so, what's going on in your city? How's it going? Things are not going so well, the rabbi answered. And the Chafetz Chaim said, what about Shabbos? Are they keeping Shabbos? And this rabbi said, Rebbe, the barbers are open till late on Friday night. The mamish, it's in the middle of Shabbos. Ugh. And they don't listen. Nobody listens to us. And the Chafetz Chaim says, so what about Taras HaMishpacha? Do they go to the mikveh in your town? And the rabbi said, no, Rebbe, nobody listens. There's nobody to talk to. What about the education of the kids? What's going on with that? The Chafetz Chaim asks. And the rabbi says to him, many people send their kids to Goyish schools and even in the Jewish schools. Not so good. It's not so good. And nobody listens. So Chafetz Chaim says, so what do you do about it? And he says, the rabbi answers, there's nothing really to do because they don't really want to listen. And the Chafetz Chaim says, I'm not sure I understand. Shabbos they don't keep you and nobody listens to you. Taras HaMishpacha, family purity, same story. Education is terrible. And you say nobody listens to you. So how is it that you didn't pass out? How is it that you didn't fainted? How can you sit here and just say things are terrible? Why is it that you didn't faint? Chazal say, because they enjoyed the Seudah of Achashverosh. Achashverosh took from the vessel of the Beis HaMikdash. He took those things which were used for korbanos, for sacrifices, and he used them to drink wine. And they sat there and enjoyed. Chafetz Chaim, in the small city they lived in Radin, never saw Chilul Shabbos. He never saw any Jew violating Shabbos, but during the First World War, he had to run away to Vilna, big city, and that was the first time he saw a Yid Mechalel Shabbos, violating Shabbos, and he couldn't believe it, and he cried so much. Then he was there for another week, another Shabbos came, and again he saw a Chilul Shabbos, a Jew violating Shabbos, and he cried, and this time he cried even more. So the Talmidim asked, Rebbe, last week you cried. We understand it was the first time you saw Chilul Shabbos by Yid. This Shabbos you're crying again, and we understand that as well. But why are you crying this week even more than you did last week? And the Chafetz Chaim answered, last week I cried because I couldn't believe it. It hurt me so much to see a Yid not keeping Shabbos, violating it. This week, you know why I'm crying so much? Because I'm crying about myself. I see that it didn't bother me so much. Wasn't sensitive to it as much as I was last week. I'm crying for myself. Rabbi Yisrael Meir, what happened to you? You lost the sensitivity. A Yid is Mechal al Shabbos. That is what the Baalei Musa explained. Not that they didn't eat in the Suda. They ate in the Suda. Maybe they were forced to, but they enjoyed the Suda. That was the claim on that generation.